Coaching for the Soul, Thursdays at 3 is beginning. I don't know what that was about, but boom. If you're watching this live, hello, 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 please announce yourself when you come into the group. If you're watching this on my YouTube channel, please subscribe to my channel, and please like my videos, and please leave a little comment, even if it's just hi Bill, because YouTube will use their algorithms to send Coaching for the Soul around the planet to people who need to hear the message. This is a 99% clairvoyant reading. Today is mostly going to be about Pluto in Aquarius, which started today for the first time in 240 years. So it is going to be a good time. Let everybody know what's going on. Hey Alexis, hey Nancy, hi Allison, hi Sherry, hey Pat, hey Kathy, what's going on? Yeah, so it's going to be a good show. So there's lots and lots of things that are going to blow your mind. Nothing to worry about. Just cool stuff that you'll relate to. So it's kind of cool. Hey Tim, how are you? Hey Nancy, welcome, welcome. Hey Adrian, welcome, welcome. Thanks for coming in. Yeah, so it's going to be about the future for sure. We're going to kind of go in the past a little bit, so I can kind of show you what's happened before. This was the American Revolution and the French Revolution was the last time that Pluto was in Aquarius. So think about that. So if you look back and see what happened then, it's probably going to happen sometime now. Did I change my phone number yet, Kathy? No, I haven't. Nope. Nothing's happened since, so I think I'm okay so far. So we'll see what happens. I'm hoping I don't have to. I've had this since 1999, so I'm hoping I don't have to change it. So we'll wait a couple minutes on my new on the computer. Okay, we've been okay, so that's cool. Been doing it from my laptop again. Still can't get the iPad to work right. Lee's gonna have to look at it. So because you know me and technology, it doesn't work. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. This I think is better. I think it works better for me because I can do polls. I can create a poll. I can ask questions. All that kind of cool stuff. So I think this the Mac Air is better. So that's kind of cool. So okay, I think we're gonna start because he's ready. All right. So. Okay. So Pluto going into Aquarius starts today for 9 weeks. To the 11th of June, all right? And we've talked before about, in prior weeks, right? About how things are going to shift, how things are going to change, and to set your intention, especially for the next, let's say 9 weeks, okay? Because you're going to feel differently than you feel today. You're going to feel differently simply because the Capricorn energy that Pluto was encompassing since 2008, all right? Is no longer there. It's gone. It's been removed, Spirit says. And Aquarius energy, which is light and fluffy and revolutionary and on to the next thing, on to the next thing, on to the next thing. Total transformation is going to happen to all of us in the next 20 years. Okay? Now, a little perspective. Like I said a minute ago, the last time Pluto was in Aquarius was during the American Revolution and the French Revolution. All right, so you're talking. I believe it was. It went into Aquarius. Pluto went into Aquarius. I believe it was 1777. Okay, so we had already declared independence, but the Revolutionary War was going on. All right, and that was a time of the country becoming sovereign, fighting for our rights. Fighting for what we believed in. And the French Revolution actually started soon after that. And it was the same thing, is that the books were fixed in France and they basically went bankrupt. Where again, let them eat cake, right? What Marie Antoinette said. And that started the revolution. But it also, the American Revolution helped the French have the revolution, okay? And France has never recovered from that, all right? So, same thing's going to happen for us in the next, we've talked about this, 3 to 7 years. All right. Remember, everything goes in threes. All right. So it's very, very important. Every 3 years, right? 2020 to 2023, 2023 to 2026, 2026 to 2023. And that is going to be absolutely instrumental in our ascension into fifth dimension. All right. So I got notes because I have to stay on point, or Spirit has a tendency to veer me off into something else. So we've talked before about dictators will fall. All right. And it's the same way with Louis and Marie Antoinette, right? The monarchy was abolished. All right. So understand the same thing will happen this time, the next 3 years. We've talked about this, that dictators will fall. China will be the only dictator left by 2030. All right. So all the rest of them around the globe will slowly but surely, Spirit says, be destroyed. Okay. Will be removed. Their regimes will fall, Spirit says. All right. Just like in France, just like the way that America pulled away from Britain. All right. And that started the United Kingdom becoming smaller. They lost America, then they lost other territories that they gained, let's say. Slowly but surely, they lost property. They lost land. And that's going to happen again now. All right? So understanding that as a human, we have to make sure that we understand what's happening as much as we possibly can. All right? Because our ego's going to kick up, right? Ego's going to kick up. It's going to be like, oh, fear, fear, oh, fear, oh, fear. No, stop yourself doing that. Stop allowing yourself by talking out loud to yourself. All right? Again, third person. Bill, that's not Bill. Stop. You know that's not true. Ego, that's not true. That's a lie. Ego, that's not true. That's a lie. Because where your ego is the strongest is when it's in fear. All right? Now, we talked about last week about how negative ego is going to turn into positive ego probably by 2026 for those who have ascended. All right? So make sure that you understand that, right? The best thing that you can possibly do for yourself is to learn yourself. Learn who you are. Remove the things that no longer serve you. Do not attach yourself to things that do not work, chimes. And that's part of the shedding, right? So understanding that in the next 3 years, structures will fall, okay? It's supposed to, just like it did 240 years ago, okay? So will our government fall? No. Will there be another crisis like 2008? Possibly, but not as deep, not as hard, okay? Yes, Spirit says there's a 20% chance of that actually happening. 3 banks have failed. He says maybe one more, but that's it. The rest of the banking sector is basically circling the wagons around those and propping them up and making sure that they understand that they've got to do what they need to do to survive, because the banks don't want a crisis either. This will also, but not till 2024, when the Democrats win back the House. 2025, I should say. All the banking regulations will be put back in place that Trump had removed in 2018. Okay, so it don't get into the fear thing of pulling your money out of the bank, or being in fear about this thing or that thing or this thing or that thing. All right, because it's not true. It's your ego trying to get you not to move forward into your spiritual self and standing in that energy. Now, the same way that King Louis and Marie Antoinette were removed, the monarchy was removed, others will be removed this lifetime, and this is where the indictments come in. All right? And I'm going to get political because I have to get political because that's what's going on. So I want everybody to understand that this is when the former president will be indicted more than 3 times. All right? One after the other. Just like King Louis and Marie Antoinette were removed, he will be removed from our society. All right? So if you're a supporter or not, I am not, and most people know that. That again, the shift in the society, the shift in the energy will change. Now, I asked Spirit earlier today about this same scenario. I said, okay, so if we're ascending and we're ascending past 4D and into 5D and higher, what do those other people do, and how traumatic is it going to be? All right. And he said it will be a slow process, okay, of them perishing from the earth. All right. Not slow like slow, but slow, meaning boom, boom. Everything will be measured. Everything will be set. There will not be a virus that kills people. Okay. And I've said this before, most will disappear. All right. And the only thing that I can go on with that is that over 60,000 people perished in 7.9 seconds in Turkey when the buildings collapsed, and they were water. Okay, they were just gone, never be seen again, completely crushed. There's no body. There's no form of a body left. All right, they're just stuff. So things like that will happen. Other things will be. First off, he says there will not be a civil war. Okay, so get that out of your head. The yin yangs are right. The people are gonna talk about it again, trying to get people into fear. The white lighted people into fear. The people who are on their way in their ascension into fear. Why? So they pull back from their ascension and stay in the collective, which is 3D. Okay, so there's going to be lots of interesting things happening. Okay. But it won't happen all at one time. But the next 3 years, the next 6 years are really going to be impactful for anybody who watches Coaching for the Soul, for anybody who is in their transformational state of ascending, right? And allowing themselves through surrender to raise up into the grid. Okay? Because it's a collective consciousness, guys. It's a grid. All right? So when the indictments come down, there's going to be problems in the country. I said this last week and the week before, that the reason it's taking so long is because law enforcement is putting things in place to take care of that problem. There will not be another January 6th. Okay? There will not be, because that person's not in charge anymore. All right? So it's not going to be mad chaos. It's going to be here, there, and everywhere. Like I said years ago, I think I said this in 2019, but we didn't know why it was going to happen. Maybe it was 2020. That there would be cities that were bombed, okay? And some of it would be nuclear, but would be nuclear devices, all right? And again, Spirit gives me the same thing. New York, DC, Miami, Houston, because of the oil refineries, all right? Dallas, and then he goes over to Phoenix and San Diego and LA and Portland, all right? And Denver and Chicago for sure. Denver, possibly, all right? So again, I'm in Metro Detroit. It's not going to happen here. This is a blessing. We're kind of off the grid, off the map, which is kind of cool. We don't have a lot of problems with the police, not a lot of problems with a lot of other things that the country is suffering from, because we've already suffered from it from the 67 riots. Okay, we've taken us 40 some years, 50 years to heal that part of ourselves. So for us, it isn't going to be in our face, but that doesn't mean that you're not going to see it on TV, in a breaking news, right? Bulletin, whatever it's going to be. And that's okay. You can handle it because you're strong enough. All right. You are definitely strong enough to handle what's coming forward, or you wouldn't be here. Okay? You wouldn't have chose right now to ascend. You wait till it was all done and over, and then you decide to come back to the earth. All right? So as those things take place, as the indictments come down, as people, I mean, they're going to see probably, for what Spirit has told me before, that again, Pluto and Aquarius is going to destroy the structure. because it needs to destroy the structure even more than what it did in Capricorn for 16 years, because it's not, this is the final period, right? The final pinch. That's why it's going into Aquarius and then coming back out in 9 weeks, going back into Capricorn at 29 degrees, and then sitting there till January, then going back into Aquarius until September, then going back into Capricorn for its final little touch-up. Okay? And then in November 2024, it is in Aquarius for 20 freaking years. Okay? And I'm telling you, for us, it's going to be a blessing, because we're going to see exactly where we're going. We're going to see our ascension get double, quadruple, triple, and quadruple, Spirit says. All right? Why? Because they need us to be here. We've talked about that. We've talked about that before. So as those people go to prison, because they will, okay? As we go through the trials of at least 50 people in Congress and at least 10 to 12 people in the Senate are going to be indicted. All right? So that's a big change. It's going to make people pissed off and mad. So you can see the upheaval. You can see what is under everything, right? But understand this, everybody. Understand this, that there's more of us than there is of them. They might be 20%, but the 20% can wreak havoc, right? 1 million people, 10 million people can wreak havoc. So, but we have nothing to fear. I want to make sure everybody understands that. We have nothing to fear. Anytime that you're in your ascension, anytime that you are connected to your spirit guide, your guardian angels, the universe, you are protected with divine light. Nothing is going to hurt you. Okay? Nothing is going to happen to you. And you have to truly believe that to understand that ego's not involved. Pushing that ego to the back, right? And going, no, 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 no. I know I'm divinely protected because you are. All right? So as the dictators fall, as society is reconstructed, all right? Because it will be, all right? The things that we have had my entire lifetime, let's say, I'm 63, will change. All right? Banking system will change. Education will change. There'll be more free college. There will be no more homelessness. There will be no more people who are hungry. There'll be no more people who can't go to the hospital or the doctor because, is it socialism? Whatever. Socialism is not a bad word. Some people believe it is when it's not. Okay, we get Social Security, we get fire department, we get the police, we get welfare, we get unemployment. All the things that help us every day from the government are what's going to happen even more. Okay, so understand that this next 9 weeks is going to change. Is going to give you glimpses of changes in your life. Spirit says. All right, so look at the positive side. Okay. If you're looking for a wife, a husband, a partner, whatever, friends, put it out there. If you want a new car, put it out there. If you want a new job, put it out there. Okay? Whatever you can dream of, everybody, you've got 9 weeks to put that into motion. Now, will it occur quickly? It depends on what's in the pipeline for you. If you've been talking to your guides, if you've been talking out loud to spirit, talking to yourself in third person, doing your Steve Noble guided meditations or some type of guided meditation that is taking that third dimensional energy out of your body. Okay. Anything that you can do spiritually to enhance your spirituality, Spirit says, is what's going to come faster. It comes back January 2024. Okay. So we've got 6 months before it returns. Okay. So it may take a little bit of time for it to get manifested, right? And how do you ask? Spirit, I need you to bring me my next new car. Spirit, I need you to bring me the money to pay for it. Spirit, I need you to help me to bring me my next job. Spirit, I want to make $100,000 at that job. That's how you ask. All right? It's always directed to them. When you do that, guess what? It comes to you. But it takes some time sometimes to manifest. So think about this. If it ends June the 11th, I've only got 6 months. And don't be surprised if it shows up before the 6 months. If you've done your work. if you're continuing the process, if you're continuing having conversations with spirit, with your guides about not even for what you want. Maybe you're upset and you gotta complain, you gotta bitch. Get it out of your body. Get that energy out of your body. And with Aquarius, it's wonderful because it's light and fluffy. It's a fixed sign, but it's light and fluffy. All of the stuff we've had in Capricorn with Pluto and Capricorn since 2008, all that stuff's gone, right? We don't even have to remove it, Spirit says. Capricorn, Pluto discards it and leaves it back in Capricorn. Okay? Spirit says it's kind of like leaving a house you don't want to live in anymore, right? But your stuff's still there. So you may have to go back and forth a little bit to get your stuff out of that house, right? So that's the back and forth. But you will definitely see the difference in energy for yourself, for what you ask for how you ask, feeling more open to ask, feeling more out of your head into your heart, Spirit says, feeling more love for things, for people, for animals, for trees, for the planet, for the fish, for the water, all kinds of things. So you may have epiphanies, right? You may have epiphanies that you didn't think anything about in the past. And what you want to do is you want to document them. Document them. Today, it was kind of cool because blah, 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 blah. You want to write it in a journal, on a pad, that's fine. Because you're going to want to go back and go, oh, so when did that happen? I feel like I'm so much further. I'm in the middle of a forest now, and the trees are talking to me. Or I need to hug a tree. I need to tell the tree that it's going to be okay. There's butterflies all over me now that never were around me before. Well, okay, because your energy is getting more balanced. It's more fourth and fifth dimension. You're going to have all kinds of things that happen to you in the next 3.5 months. So 3 months, 9 weeks, let's say. That you're going to be like, this is so freaking cool. It's a preview to what's coming. Okay? It's a preview to what's coming. Now, you might get one thing in 9 weeks. Cool. Make it nothing in 9 weeks. So, Spirit, what do I need to do to be ready for January when Pluto returns to Aquarius? Because I want everything that I want, and you deserve it, and I deserve it. Right? That type of conversation with your spirit guides, your guardian angels, the universe, right, is how you get stuff. How you get everything that you could possibly want. All right? So, as Pluto goes through Aquarius, okay, even if it's 9 weeks long, don't be surprised if you hear more about UFOs, AI, artificial intelligence, okay? And yes, and there will be both sides of the issue, okay? There'll be the issue where for the AI part, we will not fear AI, okay? Not that we'll embrace it, but we won't fear it. The people who are third dimensional and people who are ascending out of 3D, all right, will fear it, all right? So it's just like everything else. The minority will stir the pot. The minority will throw up all these kinds, then again, the dark forces, right? We've talked about that for months. Are going to throw things up to keep the energy jacked up. But we can rise above that by not believing it, knowing that it's not true, knowing that is AI good, is our AI good thing? To a point, Spirit says. But it allows, this is kind of cool, AI allows the aliens to show themselves. It may be in the AI, right? It may be the fact that they just pop up and they disappear. They pop up and they disappear, like the UFOs, all right? But by 2026, and I've said this before with Spirit, that there's going to be sightings, all right? There's going to be sightings, and that's not a bad thing. Do not be afraid. They're not here to hurt anybody, okay? They're not here to hurt anybody. And that reminds me of this. I think I told this story back in the day in 2018, but Spirit wants me to tell you again because of what he just said. In 2018, I had aliens come through my, well, now 14-foot tree, right? Out of the leaves opened up like this, right? and they didn't open up. They stayed like so, and there was 5 in a row. Okay, I thought it was angel portal. I was not schooled on what that possibly could be. Okay, and that's when the first alien came, and we knew there was something in the house, but we didn't know what it. But we didn't know what it was, and we didn't know anything. With the energy shifted in the house, and the dog spent time in his kennel when he had a kennel, because no, I feel better in here. I feel more. I feel safe. I feel safer. So that's when I asked Spirit, so what is going on? Who's in my house? And he said, we need to talk. We need to talk to it. Like, talk to what? He says, the gray alien. And I have pictures on my phone of the gray alien. And so we had a conversation. And what this exactly, if I can remember correctly, I sat down, Spirit took over, of course, because I was 2 people at the same time. I was my muggle self, and I was my spiritual self. They had not combined. Okay, my light was very, very bright, and they knew it. So that's why it was here. And it's actually said, we need, Spirit says, why are you here? It responded, we need his help. And Spirit says, you cannot hurt the humans. And it said back, only the bad ones. I never understood that until the last couple weeks. All right? There was no bad ones that I didn't think. It's the dark forces. All right? So Spirit says, he cannot help you. That's not who he is. And it said, we know it is. His light is so bright. It's the brightest light in the wormhole. We know he can help us. Spirit says, no, he can't. He's 2 people. I never understood what that meant. Now I do. Okay? As I take our muggle self and our spiritual self, our light, we have to combine them together. Because over here, I'm muggle, and I'm doing the things I've done forever, right? And over here is my spiritual self being bright and light and wonderful and knowledgeable. And I always thought I was just a guy with a voice in my head. Well, no, I'm more than that. Now that I understand exactly what it was saying. And Spirit again said, you cannot hurt any humans. And if we help you, you cannot hurt any humans. And it said, agreed. It swirled around, went back through the wormhole in the tree. Okay? So we will not, I don't want anybody to be surprised when, not that they show up in your house, but but you hear on the news or you see them yourself, little flickers of maybe a reptilian or another being. All right? Don't be alarmed. Be surprised and euphoric, Spirit says. That, oh my gosh, they chose me to show themselves to. Because that's the key. Okay? That's the key. And then in 2018, I had 3 more come through, and we know how to handle the next 2. And then the other one was freaking Lee out, and we were in bed, and I had to get rid of that one too, because it was bugging Lee. It was in his face. So they're definitely here. That's why they're talking about out of the blue UFOs, AI. All right. So as we go forward, do not live in fear. Okay. Understand that you are completely protected by the divine. Divine energy is all around you. Do you need to call it in? Usually not. Do you want to? If it makes you feel better, do it. It's not going to hurt anything. But I live every day knowing nothing is going to happen to me. Nothing. No spells, no evil forces, no anything. All right? Because my energy is so strong and dominant and intense, and I have the belief, because I've done this with the aliens, I can destroy anything that's in my house. I can destroy anything, and they know that. So, again, ego's not involved in that, right? Ego is totally not involved in that. My ego is right back here on the right side on trigger mode. It gets triggered and it goes off the freaking handle and I catch it. Nope, not doing that. Get back in bed. We're not doing that stuff, right? So the more that you work on your negative ego, the happier you will be, the more connected you will be, the more it is, well, Bill, how do I tell which is which? Oh, you'll be able to tell. Because spirit is lovely and wonderful and very, very honest. Ego will tell you great stuff to get you to follow something that you really want, but it knows it's going to sabotage you. So you'll be able to tell, especially after the first or second sabotage, after you have listened, or even if you look back at things you've been sabotaged in the past. Well, Bill, I had a conversation and I thought I was doing the right thing. Well, guess what? You're talking to your ego, which is tied to your heart, right? And they're very, very strong, very, very intense, very everything. But your spirituality, as you start to become clairvoyant and then be able to speak without speaking, right? By 2030, will become much, much, much stronger. All right? Okay? So as things start to settle down, 2025, all right? Because the election will be in 2025, it'll all be Democratic again. And again, the big shift in energy, the big shift in everything in the world is going to change. All right? The United States are going to lead that charge. We've talked about that before. All right? So it is super important that you remind yourself of that. Also, he wants me to talk about soul journey. All right? Now, because it has a lot to do with Pluto in Aquarius. Okay? Your soul journey will become known to you. All right? Either they show you the documentation, or you see it in your mind's eye, right? Or they tell you that your mission is this. Your mission is this. Nothing happens to you that isn't in your soul journey. And it's the positive stuff with Pluto in Aquarius. All of your bullshit, all of your suffering, all of your everything from this lifetime and beyond that in your past will all be cleared by 2030. Okay? So understand that. Some by 2024, 25, 26, 27, Spirit says. All right? So understand that you need to do your work to allow that to leave you. Okay? Allow that to go out of your body. Allow that energy to leave. I had lunch with a dear friend today, and last night she had a Hulk-like figure. She was asleep, had a Hulk-like figure in her dream show up, put his hands on the bed, and poof, he disappeared. She woke up. Felt totally different than she did when she went to bed. All of her stuff left with the Hulk. Okay? However they get you to receive it, because it's in your soul journey, right? That's the way that it will happen. Does that mean that you don't still have to work every day at it? It's not even really work, because work can have a negative tone. It is allowing yourself to ascend, surrendering, not fighting that stuff. Because, oh, but what should I do? What should I do? I've got this option, I got that option. What does your gut say? Well, I haven't really asked my gut. Really? Aren't you supposed to? I'm supposed to ask your guides what the deal is? What is this? What is this? What is this? Well, I just thought it could come to you. No, you have to do the work. See? Because as we go through this transformation, I'm telling you, everybody, it is going to be intensely, beautifully fun. You're going to be triggered and turned on and connected and understand what's going on and understand your clairvoyancy and understand all of the clairs that, again, it could be that you see it, that you hear it, that you smell it, that you taste it. Okay? You see it in front of you. All the clairs are going to become clear, Spirit says. They're all going to be where you recognize them. All right? And Google's a great thing. I have a voice in my head. What does that mean? Okay? Also, I will remind you that people with autism, many people with mental illness, as the energy rises and is in fourth and fifth and sixth dimension, they will become normal. Most of them. All right? They will become either geniuses with Alzheimer, with autistic, mental illness, all kinds of other disabilities will completely disappear when this comes online by 2026. All right. So if you have one or two of those in your family, chimes. Again, have it inside yourself, knowing I know they're going to be okay. And I'll use an example. I talked to somebody that I hadn't talked to in 5 years, and 5 years ago they thought their child was schizophrenic, and I said, no, he's not schizophrenic. He's clairvoyant. They said, no, I don't think so. Okay, they were heavily Christian, and they didn't believe in that. They didn't believe in this, right? And this is 5 years later. They called and had an appointment. Oh, we can go Saturday, and we talked for over an hour, and they had understood now what that means. This child is now 28, living at home, constantly battling what his parents thought were demons. They're not demons. No. He's telling them to shut up because he doesn't like what they're saying to him. He's clairvoyant. And as we go through and the energy gets higher, gets less dense, and I told them this, he's going to be like normal. And you're going to be like, where the hell did that come from? Because right now he talks to his guides and talks to his people, right? All the time, all day. He's in that bubble because he's on the spectrum, right? Supposed to be on the spectrum because he's in suspension, Spirit says. He's in suspension. He was born early. Ooh, yes. See? I get it. Yeah, he's born early. So they wanted to know, well, Bill, how can we find out? I said, well, what you do is his mom said this. I handed him a sandwich this morning, and he said, thanks, Mom. And then he said, they thank you too, because I'm hungry. She didn't think to say, well, who's them? You have to have your energy balanced. You have to be in your mom spot. There can be no frustration. There can be no anything, because they will trip him off like that. Like, oh, no, run away from that, because he's 28 years old and he has a history with his mom and his dad and the church. Okay. So I'm not bashing the church at all. The church works for a lot of people. All right. And that's fine. It makes them feel whole. Perfect. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. So I told them that because his dad's kind of gruff, you have to be in your daddy spot. Play like he's 5 years old. Play like he's 10 years old, right? Because he needs to have the energy of, you love me. You love me. It's my mom and my dad, and they love me. Because then he will say, oh, I'm just talking to Johnny. Oh, is Johnny fun? Yeah, he's pretty good. And you'll start a conversation where he goes, oh, they understand and they're not mad. They're not trying to figure it out. They're kind of cool with me having these people that I talk to. See? And they were, well, gosh, we never even thought of that. Well, no, because you're his mom and his dad, and you're worried about him. But he's fine now. He's in your house. You take care of him every day, right? And he's on his medication for schizophrenia, but he's balanced, right? He's balanced. He's going to be off the medication and more balanced in the next 3 years. So if you have some of those beautiful people in your life, know this. They're going to be the geniuses. They're going to be the ones that are 100% clairvoyant. They're going to be the ones who can talk without speaking. Okay? They probably already are, Spirit says. So again, but it's new. It's different. It is something that the muggles, the 3Ders, are going to go, WTF. He needs medication. He needs mental, blah, 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 blah. No. But the collective, the 80% of us that are full of light and wander around the planet, that encircle the planet with light and love, right? Slowly those people will go away. And Spirit says we will probably rescue those who are in those families that are not accepting. So it's kind of like now, right? With us. We can't go around spouting everything that we know, talking to people about this, that, and the other thing. We can't. But we will be able to. Because there's 80% of us, 85% of us that are going to be ascended. 20% will not be. Okay? So as you go through your process of elimination, Spirit says, as you let stuff go, which is going to be much easier to do with Pluto and Aquarius. Why? Because Pluto in Capricorn is structure. It's structure. It's destroying the structure. It is blowing the hell out of it, right? Because I need out. Well, now Pluto is out. Because Pluto's revolution. Okay? Now it's in a beautiful Aries sign, and everything can come to pass, and it will clear the decks of all that third dimensional energy that no longer serves us. Clear us of the structures that no longer serve us. That reform, right? He's showing me destruction, and then boom, it's rebuilt. Destruction, because it can't be what it used to be, and rebuilt. All right? So that can be everything that we talked about earlier. Education, banking, government, like we've talked about before. Spirit has said the government's going to completely shift. It's going to completely change into what it's supposed to be, which is taking care of us. Okay? Not the 1%, not the oligarchs, not the people in big business, not the 1% at all. Okay? It's about taking care of the other 99%. Okay? And that's the way it's going to be. And some people think that's right, some people think that's wrong. Well, guess what? It's going to happen no matter if you want to do it or not, because that's going to be our society by 2030. All right? So as you go through the process, as you get epiphany after epiphany after epiphany and wonder, this is so freaking cool, I can't believe it. I can't believe it, right? Believe it. Believe it. Because no one will stay where they're at today. I will guarantee you that. They will not stay where you're at today. You'll be in higher and higher ascension. And people have said, well, Bill, won't there be a lot of people out of work? No, because the universe will take care of us in that. Because do we know what that looks like? No. No, we don't know what that looks like. Everybody can't be a reader, but can't be an author, everybody can't be this. No, again, we have to have some type of structure, business structure, industrial structure, just business and a business structure in general to produce things that we need. All right, produce things that we need. But AI will change a lot of that. Will there be people put out of work? Yes, just like it was in Detroit with the auto companies when they started following the Japan model of putting robots in auto plants. They no longer needed 5,000 people to build a freaking car. Now they need 3,000 people to build a car, right? Over different shifts. Because now we got the robots that are millions of dollars and they're doing the job of those 1,000 people. Okay? So same thing's gonna happen with AI. But guess what? As we ascend, they take care of us. Do we know what it looks like yet? I don't. Maybe you do. Maybe you do know what the future looks like, what that part of the future looks like. If it does, share it. Okay? Please share it. Because that's how we learn. Because many, many times, and I've told you guys this before, is that stop. Okay. The number one way that I get triggered on what I know is by YouTube videos. I'm telling you, or Facebook Watch. They know I use both of those every day. Okay? And they bring me videos, they bring me all kinds of cool stuff that I can watch them and go, well, that's true. Well, that makes sense. Oh my God, I know that. Oh my God, I know that too. How do I know that? How do I know that? My guides don't talk to me like that because they know I need, and I said this morning, okay? Because I'm a Capricorn, I need to feel it, touch it, or smell it, or taste it, right? If I can do those four things, it's not real. That's the muggle. That's third dimensional, 12,000-year-old soul Capricorn who has shifted out of that. I no longer have to touch it, smell it, taste it, hear it, see it. I don't need any of that anymore. Because I truly believe that whatever I'm receiving, I understand. And when I get confirmation of that from here, right? When I'm watching a video and I go, well, you know, guys know how I put one word on my posting on Facebook, right? Truth, this, yes, whatever it is, right? Very, very pointed. I do the same thing to the video. Oh my God, that's true. Oh my God, that's true. That's so true. Oh my God, yes, yes, yes. And that's how I get my confirmation. And I know that they're like going, okay, shoot, cool, he gets it. He actually clicked on the video. He actually did it. He actually watched this. He actually did this. And that's why I promote all the time, everybody, getting yourself your YouTube feed, getting yourself on Facebook Watch, looking at Instagram, looking at Facebook, right? And liking things, putting hearts on things. Because when you do that, guess what? Not only the universe, but the algorithms will bring you more of what you love. And that's them. They can bring you all kinds of messages, right? I mean, do I channel spirit? Yeah, but it isn't like a constant conversation. I have friends that just ask and they get the message. They sit and write down and they channel. I don't do that. Not at all. Not at all. Spirit says, because Bill, you're too efficient. You don't have time to write that down. And I don't write. Do I talk in here? Sometimes, but more when I channel, it's either in a reading with somebody, right? A session, or Coaching for the Soul, or when I'm doing videos, right? Because it's not Bill talking. It is coming directly from them. I'm the narrator, Spirit says, which is true. Now, is it things that I believe? Yes. or I wouldn't say them. Right? I'd be like, wait a minute, wait, could you see me do that? Well, hang on a minute. Let me see if that's, because I try to make it as easy and as digestible as possible, Spirit says, which is very, very true. Okay? So that was a lot. So understand about the fear. Okay? Don't get in the fear spot. Okay? If you want to know more, Google last time Pluto was in Aquarius and see what pops up. And you'll probably go, oh my God, I know that. Oh my God, I know that too. Oh my God, how do I know that? Well, that seems right. Well, that feels right. So guess what? Not only are you getting confirmation from your guides because it's coming out of your mouth, not you doing it, it's them. But you go, oh, that's, Google everything if you want to. Somebody reached out the other day and said, Bill, what are the freaking 111s and the 222s and 3? I'm seeing freaking numbers all the time now. Oh, no, those are angel numbers. Okay. I said, well, guess what? When you see a 222, you Google it. Meaning of 222. Meaning of whatever, right? Of 444, 555, right? Because there's a message in there for you. Is it something where they're distracting you and moving you forward? Yes. Because you'll read and go, well, that's not me right now. Well, maybe it is tomorrow or the next day. Maybe it was like 3 weeks ago. You just didn't recognize it. So when it happens again, there's that 333 again. Because 3 is the luckiest number in numerology. It is the blessed number. So when you get 333, that's everything on the planet. In fact, Steve Noble tries to get his meditations at 3333. Okay? Or 4444. And I found that really interesting. And I said, so Spirit, what is that? Because he knows, again, the power of the numbers. The power of the numbers. Okay? So, yes. Remind them to not be in fear. Remind them to keep their ears open. Remind them to, when you hear a mumble, Spirit, can you turn up the volume? Acknowledge when you hear the mumbles. Acknowledge when you hear your name. Acknowledge when you hear a hey. Acknowledge. So who is that? So Spirit, who is that? Don't get in fear, because they'll go, okay, he's not ready. Okay, she's not prepared. Because it's all coming. All right? It's all coming. Because you know what they said about 2030. We'll be able to communicate without speaking, some of us. We'll be able to transport ourselves from one place to another. Just like on Star Trek. Okay? So to get there, we got work we got to do. Also, understand this. You're at the forefront for one reason. To teach people your journey. Because there's billions of people on the planet that are going to need somebody to say, guess what happened to me? Blah, 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 blah. Okay? Understand that. Understand that it could be a friend of a friend of a friend. Well, oh my God, my friend Kathy, oh my God, she's gone through this process. And you know what? She talks to her guides all the time, and they talk back to her. Oh my God, you're kidding. Who's this again? Kathy. Oh my God, yeah. Do I know who she is? Yeah, she's one of my friends. We were at the party together, blah, blah, blah. Oh, her, yeah. I need to talk to her. Cool, here's her number, or whatever, right? Or we have the same party together, the same picnic together, whatever it is. And the conversation turns to spirituality, because it will happen. It's already happening. But 2023, 2024, it's really going to be happening, okay? I know. He says, friends and loved ones will be like, what the hell is that about? Why did I just hear that? What am I seeing? Or Spirit says, you calm them down when they're in fear. They're talking to you about what's going on, the indictments, going on with being afraid of the terrorism that possibly could happen. All right? Again, it is, he says, it could be before the election of 2024, could be during the election of 2024. They only know. Okay? But we have to, again, you may be the one that they call on the phone, or you live with them or whatever, says, you know what, blah, 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 you know what, you don't have to worry about that, because guess what, that's all going to be fine. Okay, well, that's what you say. No, I truly believe that. I truly understand that that's what that is. And you give them a little bit of your knowledge, either from Coaching for the Soul, what you read on Google, what you saw on YouTube, what you saw on Facebook Watch, or Facebook, or Instagram. Twitter has been damaged. Twitter has a virus, okay? And I wouldn't go to Twitter for anything. Wouldn't go to Twitter for anything, because it's not balanced. It's not clean, okay? It isn't clean. And that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. So there'll be lots of inventions, lots of medical breakthroughs next year in that 9 months. We might get a few in the 9 weeks that Pluto is in Aquarius, okay? And when something like that happens, document it. Could happen to you, right? Could happen to you. As you have medical breakthroughs, as you heal yourself, as you become more and more fluid in your spirituality, you'll be able to heal yourself with Archangel Raphael's help, okay? It's very, very, very cool how everything is shifting, and you're here to be part of that. You're here to be a part of the transformation, and you chose it. That's the thing. In your soul journey, your soul said, yes, I agree with that, and you signed it. And that's my mom, and that's my dad, and that's my sisters, and that's my brother, and that's my aunt, and that's my uncle, and I know my grandma, grandpa, whatever. All right? Okay? So it's all going to happen very, very quickly. I ask all of you, document your dreams, because everybody's having some cool dreams right now. Try to get sleep. I know last night I got about an hour and a half sleep. Could not sleep at all. And I didn't know why. Well, I kind of knew why, but my human didn't know why. I was in my muggle place, right, trying to freaking sleep. And it was because of today. Because of Pluto moving out of Capricorn into Aquarius. So I was the Capricorn going, WTF. I don't get this. Duh. I woke up I got up this morning, didn't really wake up. Got up this morning and went, well, of course, it's Pluto in Aquarius now. Of course it's gonna be a hard time for the Capricorn to sleep. Because something that he's had since 2008 and understands the energy has left. And we're like, okay, what happened? Duh. It's only going to get better and more beautiful and easier to ascend and the whole 9 yards. So much better. So much better. Okay? So, yeah, I think we're good. That was a lot, guys. That was a lot. It was fast. So I'm doing readings all week still, do readings every day. Doing something on Saturday, if you want a reading on Saturday. Element membership packages are still on my website, okay? If you want every day, every month conversation, right? Want to ask me questions every day, whatever. Element packages are on billhobart.com or elementsessions.com. It's pretty good. It's like 60% off the reading price, so it's pretty awesome. It's definitely worth it. So they're there. What else? Next month on the 6th, I am doing a mediumship party at Rock Your World in Laurel Park Place in Livonia from 7 to 8:30. Okay, everybody gets a reading. Me and another person are going to be there. They're pretty fun. It's gonna be mediumship things, right? So if you want to talk to somebody who's dead, come on in. I think it's like $33. So it's not that expensive. And I'll be in Jackson the 22nd and 23rd of April. Okay, it's one of my favorite fairs, and it's fun. It's exhausting, but it's fun. I get to see people that I know. Usually the only time that I see the people that I know, that I've come to know, I should say, because I grew up there. But people that have been, that come to the fair that want to see me twice a year. It's pretty cool. And it will probably be, from what I'm getting from Spirit, the last time I'll be in Jackson. I believe we'll be in Maui by October. So that is a feeling, right? It's a good feeling. So I'll be there the 22nd and 23rd of April. So I think that's it. So thank you, everybody, for coaching for this. Oh, I want to do one thing. Please go over to YouTube when probably about 4:15 or later, Eastern time. And please like and if you haven't subscribed to the channel, my channel, Bill Hobart on YouTube, please subscribe to it. Please like the video and please leave me a comment. Okay. I think last week got 166 views, which is pretty good. Okay. So I've had some that hit the thousands, right? And I don't know why they hit the thousands, but they do. So I don't know what in it, what in the title. I don't get it. I think it's them. Yeah. So if you would do that for me, it would be great. Leave yourself a note if you could, just that I need to do that for Bill. It helps me build the channel. Helps more people hear it and understand it. Because I don't know when I move to Maui how things are going to be. I don't think it's going to be like this. So we'll have to wait and see. So if you could help me do that, it would be great. Yeah. So namaste, everybody. Thanks for joining me on Coach for the Soul Thursdays at 3. And I will see you guys next week. And any questions, I will answer them. And I will leave it up on my Facebook page at Bill Clairvoyant, probably till 7 or 7:30. So I'll see you guys later. See you.